If I give you 100,000 today, how much of it would you accidentally waste within 30 days? Most don't lose money because they earn less, they lose money because they allocate randomly. So I stopped budgeting and I built an AI powered percentage system that automatically divides my income before I spend a single penny. Believe me, it will completely change how you think about money. Today I'll show you exactly how it works with real numbers. Let's say someone earns 60,000 per month. It's just an example. What usually happens? You'll give the rent. Suppose rent is 18,000, groceries it's 8,000. Eating out, you spend 6,000 there. And in random Amazons, you just spend 5,000 more. In subscription, there went your 2,000. Suddenly 45,000 is gone. Poof! No investing, no emergency funds, no plan. At the end of the month, you say, next month I'll be better. That's emotional budgeting. You don't do that. It doesn't work. So I have been designing a system to make your hard-earned money not go in vain. And I call it the 10x Money OS. Let's see how the 10x Money OS handles 60,000. According to this, your 50% will go in the needs. Your 20% will go in the investment. 10% will be your emergency fund and 15% will be your wants. You shouldn't exceed that. Remaining 5% will be your insurance, which is very important. Now spending happens inside limits, not outside them. Notice something important. Wants are capped at 9,000. That alone prevents silent financial leaks. Let's also see how AI comes into play. As soon as I get the salary, I run this. All right, here we go. Here we are in ChatGPT. And the prompt goes something like this. Act as a conservative financial planner. My monthly income is 60,000. It's just an example. You can put your salary. Use this allocation model. Needs will be 50%, investment will be 20%, emergency, wants, etc. Calculate exact monthly amounts and suggest safe allocation across the rent, groceries, SIPs, and saving. Let's see what it says. All right. So the first step is clear for you. I have already demonstrated, but suppose your salary is different. Then you put it right there and it will calculate your limits and it will separate it according to your categories. AI instantly calculates and suggests a distribution. This removes any of the guesswork that you have. So in needs, it will be 30,000. That means needs will be my rent, my groceries, and fuel, whatever is my need. I can't deal my life. That comes in my need. Investment, that should be your first priority at the beginning of every month. If you don't have emergency fund, that's again your top priority. So these two is non-negotiable. You have to put it every month. Wants is 9,000. You have your wants. 15%. You can buy whatever you want. It's the limit. And if you save something, you can put it in your emergency fund. It's good if your emergency fund will be completed as soon as possible. All right, then insurance, and then the total is your exhausted salary. That will be 60,000. You've got your investment, you've got your fund, insurance, everything is fine. And now it has explained everything like needs, essential things like rent, bills, transport, etc. Investments, also suggested where I can put the money and also the allocation of the investment. That like most of my amount will go in the index fund, then the flexi cap, gold, and then the direct equity if you want to buy any stock. Emergency fund is 6,000. So goal of the emergency fund will be the needs. That means your needs, if your needs are 30,000, the goal should be 6 months of your need, which will be 1,80,000. So monthly contribution should go 6,000, and it have also suggested place this in a high interest savings account or liquid mutual fund or sweep FD. Let's do the FD. Anyways, your wants, this is what your leisure life allows you. The 9,000. If you want to go out, if you want movies, entertainment, shopping, whatever, and then the Amazon. So final flow should look something like this. That's it. That was the work of AI. You have to bound by the percentage. You have to abide by it. You have to live by it. Otherwise, you won't be able to invest and save an emergency fund if you want to live a happy life. Let's talk about one of the very important part of your life, which is emergency fund. Now, let's say at the moment your emergency fund is 0. And here is how you calculate your emergency target. As I have explained, if your needs are 30,000, by logic, your emergency fund will be the 6 months of your needs, which is 1,80,000. By this logic that I have showed you, if you save 6,000 per month, it will take 30 months to complete. That's slow. So I run this prompt. Let's go to the screen here. And if you want to speed up the process of your emergency fund, you run this. You are starting out your emergency fund. You say my emergency fund is 0. Should I temporarily, I have spelled it wrong, and increase allocation? We have asked him yes, said yes clearly. If your emergency fund is 0, conservative planner should blah blah blah. So monthly needs are 30,000, recommended results 6 months, that means 1,80,000. Now it have readjusted everything. So now investment is only 10% and emergency fund bumps up to 20%. So now you have to give 12,000 instead of 12,000 to investment. We have reversed these scenarios. So emergency fund is increased. That's how you can complete your emergency fund in just 15 months, which is less than 1.5 years, which is great. And you should focus on this. Otherwise, it will be problematic. Why I say that? Why emergency fund is important? Because in case of a job insecurity, what will happen? You're doing a job, suddenly a company doesn't need you. You need your emergency fund to survive on that. In case you want to leave the job, you want to start something, you want to do the YouTube, you need your emergency fund to survive. That's why emergency fund is more important than investment. And it's okay if your emergency fund doesn't give you returns. That's fine. We want to save that fund. It's not to deal with the volatility of the market. All right, so let's move on. Now the emergency fund have been increased. We need to tackle the overspending scenarios. Let's say you overspend 1 month. Allocated wants are actually just 9,000. If you first noticed, your wants are just 9,000. You overspent 1 month and the actual wants became 14,000. That's 5,000 extra. Most people ignore it. In case if you have overspent, your prompt should look something like this. I have asked, act as a disciplined personal finance advisor. I am using a percentage-based money allocation system. My monthly income is whatever, let's say 60,000. My allocation model is given here. Actual wants, allocated wants are 9,000 and actual wants became 14,000. Calculate how much I overspent, etc., etc. Suggest how should I adjust next month, temporarily reduce my wants, show the correct percentage, show the correct rupee allocation, everything is there. You just put your salary, your actual spend and your allocated wants. All right, let's correct this calmly. It said you have overspent amount of 5,000, which we already said. And it said strategy to recover the overspending, which is very important, is temporarily reduce wants the next month. That means what it is saying is that if you go up, your wants, your investment should increase by 5,000 next month and your wants should decrease by 5,000 because you already overspent last month. So next month your wants will be just 4,000. That is what it said. Here is the correct percentage allocation. Now it have decreased to 4,800. All right. So wants will become 7,000, and this time the investment will be 20%. So the wants money will go there because you have overspent last month, and this is the right way. You shouldn't ignore any month your investment. Yes, most people do that. Don't do that. Now let's talk about goal. Let's say your goal is 3 lakhs. Just an example. You want 3 lakh house down payment. You want to collect the down payment. So you want it in 2 years. That means you have only 24 months. In this case, your monthly requirement should be 3 lakhs divided by 24, which will be 12,500. If investments are 12,000, you can split it into 6,000 and 6,000. 6,000 will go in index fund and 6,000 will go in house fund. That is also an investment. So we can split the investment into halves. So now let's talk about your monthly review, which is very important. At the end of every month, you sit down on your computer and act as a disciplined financial advisor. Income is 60,000. That's an example. Allocated versus actuals are below. Identifying overspending and suggest correction. Then put all your logs of overspending or your spending below, and AI will respond with the overspending in wants, investment consistency, emergency progress, behavioral adjustment advice. That's it. That is what you want. This is not a hype AI. This is accountability AI. This is very important. Now, this is one way of doing things, the prompt way. I made a Google Sheet which does and show everything. You just need to log your salary, spendings, and goals. All right, let's give it a look. This is the sheet, our 10x Money OS. All right. So I've put the monthly income here, which is 60,000. Your total allocated right now is 60,000. Total spent is 0. This is the beginning of your month. Go to allocation engine and it will automatically allocate it according to the percentage what is actually required. The 60,000 will divide into 30,000, 12,000 of investment, 6,000 of emergency fund, 9,000 of wants, and 3,000 of insurance. That is the beginning. Then in the next tab, if you go, it will be the expense log. Suppose if you say at the rate today, and it will enter today's date, what you have spent on. You gave the rent, which is your needs. The rent was, suppose your rent was 14,000, let's say, and the payment method, you can put it here. I'll put it as GPay, whatever. As soon as you enter that and select the category needs in allocation engine, in the needs, it will deduct the amount from 30,000 and actual spending will come here. And you have 16,000 in your needs left. So now once again, if you go there and type at the rate today, you have bought something, grocery, and that will also go in the needs. And you suppose you have bought 5,000 of groceries. In allocation engine, it will again add that 5,000 and add it in the actual spending. You still have 11,000 left. So you have everything right there in front of you. This is great. This is gold mine. I have few things right here. I'll just copy it. I'll paste it like this. I'll say this is need. Watch is a want. MF is mutual fund. It is investments, and insurance will be the insurance. Funds is emergency fund. Fuel is need. Grocery is need. All right. Amount of the rent will be my 15,000, let's say, and watch was 9,000. All right. Mutual fund is again 12,000 in my investment. So everything will go here. Insurance is, you can go there and see how much goes in insurance is 3,000. So I'll allocate everything here. And emergency fund is 6,000. Needs is again whatever your needs are, 6,000 and 5,000. Let's go. So in allocation engine, if you see, you have allocated everything. You have spent everything other than the 4,000. Let's say you got need of again, everything is done. You bought something in groceries, you enter there and you have exhausted all your salaries in the right allocation model. Great. You can see where you should spend and how much you should spend on which thing. Now let's move on to one of the very important part of this sheet. Suppose your watch or something that you wanted. Suppose, let's say today, all right? Today you went ahead, bought a game, all right, which is your want, obviously. The game costed 4,000 rupees. You paid with credit card. No, you paid with debit card. We don't deal on credit here. All right. So in allocation engine, it will say wants are 13,000, which is more than your allocated amount, which is 4,000 more. So, even by looking at it, you have to adjust something. We'll understand it, this part, later. Let's move on to emergency fund tracker. Suppose your target amount, which is 6 months, is 1,80,000. Here you can calculate your emergency fund. If your monthly expenses is 50,000, your emergency target will be 3 lakhs. In our case, our target amount is 1,80,000 and current balance, which is, suppose I have accumulated 30,000 or 25,000, it will calculate automatically. The progress is 13%. Suppose I have accumulated 90,000. So I have 50% there, amount remaining is 90,000. So at the end of every month, you look at your emergency fund and you put the current balance here. In this case, suppose I have 16% already accumulated. I'll go into the next month, which is monthly review. You put the month here. By the way, you can screenshot this guy. Screenshot and put it somewhere where you look at every now and then, analyze yourself how you have performed and is the savings accurate, is your wants again readjusted. So suppose you have logged everything, whatever you wanted. I have 30 days. You can also increase it. It's up to you. I'll give this sheet, don't worry. You have your monthly review right here. Also, you have your budget versus actual comparison. Your allocated amounts were here. Your actual spendings are here. And the difference shows that there is a overspent. It said overspent. If you will be in limit, it will say within limit. So if it says overspend, you have to adjust your wants. In any case possible, you have to put these 4,000 in next month's investment. That means your next month's investment should look like 16,000 and your next month's wants should look 5,000. This will be your next month. All right, I hope you get it. I have packaged this into the 10x Money OS. It includes the percentage allocation sheet, emergency tracker, goal planner, monthly AI prompt. It's free because stability should be accessible. Download it below and give this video a like. It will help with the reach. You don't need more motivation. You need a system that allocates before you act. Build the system once and let discipline compound. My name is Akash. This is the 10x Solo. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.